think we should be live. You guys should be able to hear me. Um, Welcome, gang. This is Mike with my Real Estate Dojo, and tonight I'm going to be talking about gambling investing, what some people call speculative, versus non-gambling investing. And many of us come into the school system and college and what have you. When we think about investing, the very first thing we think about is risk. When somebody says, I'm going to start my own business, the first thing that comes to your mind or your friend's mind, your family's mind is risk, risk, risk. Um, so I want to take this time to explain that there's different types of risk. Of course, everything's risky. This is the kind of world we live in. If you want to go to your mom's house, you get in a risk and get in a car wreck. If you want to eat your food, you get food caught up in your throat and die, okay? What is the probability? You got to figure that out. But when it comes to investing, there's two ways, there's two boot camps. Okay, so I want to go ahead and break this down for you guys. Let me see if I can spell it. I wrote it down. I can't spell it. The speculative versus non. And kind of break this down. Because once you understand the difference, it's going to make you a lot more wealthier no matter what type of investments you're doing. If you're doing real estate, if you're doing stocks, you're doing bond, you're doing gold, whatever, okay? So one thing I want you to understand is that when you do a non-speculative investing, when you fulfill the transaction, the transaction is completed, you're in a way safer positioning than when you do speculation. Let me give you a good example. As a real estate investor, okay, I want to buy a house. This house is on the market, which means like if I drive around and it has a for sale sign on it, it's on the market for $100,000. Okay? I could hire a realtor and they look at it on the website, or you go to realtor.com, whatever, it says $100,000. Everyone else is using this route. This is a family, you know, with their kids. And what they're doing is they're finding a realtor, and then they're also finding the bank, and then they buy this house. Okay? And they're going to pay this price because they're paying retail. It's like if me and you go to Macy's, or if me and you go to Foley's, or if me and you go to some high-end retail store, like whatever, you're going to pay top retail price. Okay, that's normal. Now, if you could get the same quality shirt, if you go to China, that you're paid at Foley's, let's say a polo for $100, in China for $10, $5. But that's a whole different story, which is what a real estate investor does. For me, on this exact home, this family with the little dog will buy this house using the traditional method, which is getting a loan, getting in debt, putting their Social Security up, putting 10, 20% down, whatever the story is, 3.5 if they get an FHA or something, and they're going to buy this home for 100K. Now, that's retail. That's not investing. These people are going to live in this home. This is their dream home. They're going to grow their kids up in it, okay? But as an investor, what I will do as a non-speculative is this same exact story. I will buy this home instead of for 100 for 60K, okay? And when I buy this home for 60K, when the market is worth 100, I've instantly made money. Now, if the market goes up, I've made more money. If the market stays the same, I made my original 60. If the market goes lower, I'm still ahead. How much lower? It could go 10%, 20%, 30%. I'm still ahead, okay? Now, it depends what I'm going to do with this property. If I'm going to quickly turn around and flip it like the TV shows glamorize, or am I going to, be a buy and hold guy, or am I going to put it on the Airbnb? Just the strategy is different if you're going to wholesale it, so what have you, okay? But the story is about speculation and non-speculation. And non-speculation with real estate investing, here's a great example. The house is worth 100. I find a motivated seller, I buy their house at 60. That's non-speculation. Because right then and there, everyone and their mama is paying this much, but I'm paying 60. Why am I able to pay 60? First of all, because I market differently. So this is me, okay? And what I do is I market to a pool of people, okay, that have all different homes, right, and that are motivated. All right, they're motivated. Why are they motivated? Maybe they're going through a divorce. Maybe they're motivated because they just got a job loss. Maybe they're motivated because they just relocated out of the state because they work for X corporation and they demanded them to move. Okay, so now they moved out of state. They have this new home and this old home, and they got to make two payments, and they don't want to do that anymore. Okay, maybe they're motivated because they inherited their house, their parents passed away. So there's a lot of reasons what makes these people motivated, and uh, if you want to know why they become more motivated, get on my blog, My Real Estate Dojo. I put this out for the community. I want you guys to be your dreams, guys. That's why I do this. I want you to be your dreams. I want to help you get where you want to go. I'm not an attorney or CPA. I'm not giving you financial advice, but I just want to put out there what I've done out there. So if you want to emulate or follow that, then you can. So going back to the story, I market to, and this is marketing, and this is M because it's motivation from a seller. And I market and I find a motivated seller, okay? And when I find a motivated seller, I negotiate with them, I put the deal in the contract, and I'll fund it one way or another. Now, a lot of people think, well, man, I don't have that kind of money to invest to buy a $60,000 cash home. Well, this is a great thing with America, and I'm sure many other countries like Canada, Swiss, etc., is because they use the same exact funding system, lending system, because it's all central banked, okay? The central bank system, okay? Which is basically the same. They create a note one way or another. So basically what I'm saying is you don't have to use your money. You could use the seller's pre-existing mortgage or the seller's pre-existing loan, okay? If they own it free and clear, then you could use them to lend you the money. So basically two things happens when you meet a seller over here when they do marketing. One, they own the house free and clear. Bingo, you hit a jackpot. Two, they have a mortgage on their home. Ding, 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 you hit a jackpot. Now, the question is, how do you structure these deals to make the seller want to give you the owner financing? Well, first of all, they're motivated sellers. Two, you have to understand creative financing, which is I teach again on my blog totally for free. That's why I do this, guys, for you, okay? If you haven't seen it, get up there. You do like things like master leases, subject twos, owner financing, wraps, things of that nature, okay? So on here, I spend money on advertisement. I find a motivated seller, and then I close with the cash, and I buy at a deep discount. The same exact house some other person would buy for 100, I find diamonds and I'll get it for 60. Now, not only me, many investors around America, and I'm sure other countries do this, guys. You just are now aware about it, okay? So when I buy a house at $60,000, I'm not speculating. The market, today's market, is worth 100. Now, when you do speculation, like let's say stocks or Bitcoin, I'm just throwing a few. I'm not picking on these guys at all. Okay, you're what people call, like, in America there's a lot of words to soften the truth, like they call it undervalued. Basically, what they're saying is, dude, they're buying it here and they're hoping that it goes up. Okay, if it was undervalued, then most people would see it, right? I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, if the thing was worth 100 and 100K and it was for 60, I mean, most people, if only not one person or two, a lot of you will see that, right? Especially if they're looking for it, okay, on the exchange. So the point I'm trying to make is when you do stocks or Bitcoins, you're buying it the same price that Joe buys it, you buy it, corporations buy it the same price. Everybody buys it at the same price unless you're the accredited investor that you can buy it from the before it goes public, the IPOs. This is where Bitcoin comes into play with ICOs, which is initial coin offering. Because I did a video about this a couple of days ago. If you haven't, you want to go watch it, you go to my blog, my Real Estate Dojo, that talks about how ICOs are empowering me, you, Jose, Bob, Sally, for the little guys to put $10, $20, $100, 10,000, whatever you got into some of these newest companies like IPOs used to with accredited investors. So it's a very powerful thing, but that's a different story. So the point of the story I was trying to make is that if you do speculation investing, it's very risky because everyone doesn't matter if you know how to negotiate, you know how to do sales, everyone has to pay the same exact price of entrance. Now, if you don't believe me, let's look it up. If Bitcoin right now was worth $10,000, I haven't found the way to find somebody that's willing to sell me their Bitcoin for 6,000. I haven't. Now, if anyone, majority of people that will have Bitcoins, they can get on the exchange and click of a button, sell their, buy gold, buy fiat, whatever. Okay. Now, if somebody inherited that, maybe they didn't know what to do, maybe, but I haven't found anybody like that. Okay. Does that make sense? But in real estate, situations like that happen because it's not liquidable fast. In this situation with the house, you have to hire a realtor. You have to clean the house. You have to stage the house. There's so many people involved in it. You have to have an inspector. You have to have an appraisal. If the house doesn't pass inspection, then the buyers can't get a loan because they're not a cash buyer. They have to, borrow money from the lender. So I could go on and on. So it's a lot of big moving pieces. Okay, that's what makes people motivated. You know what I'm saying? Like an example: someone lives in a different country or state. Their parents live in a different state. They have to come here. They got to go to work. They got only 30 days to sell their home. Well, it just takes 30 days if you go with a traditional banker, assuming that the buyers have perfect credit or nothing. There's no hiccups with the title. But usually there's hiccups. It always takes longer. So that seller that inherited this house may want to sell to a cash investor like myself or like you, like what we teach at the dojo, or to a creative investor that doesn't even have cash, because that's the power of real estate is you don't have to have cash. Here's another example. If I want to do real estate, I don't have to have cash. If I want to get in Bitcoin, I need cash. If I want to get in stocks, I need cash. Okay, so not only is real estate a great investment tool because it's not speculation. If you buy it right, it's not speculation. Now, there is some Joes and Jose's and other Julies investors out there that, like in 2006 fourth quarter, they were buying properties, and before they closed, they were selling and making money, and other people were trying to do the same thing, and the music stopped, and they were stuck with the hot potato because they were speculating. But majority of people that do, for example, fix and flips, or because it's a very quick transaction. Can the fix and flipper get stuck with it too? Yes, absolutely. But if you're a buy and hold guy, it doesn't matter. Now, the point I was trying to make is if you buy right as a real estate investor, it's not speculation because you made money instantly right then and there. And if you buy deep enough, if the market goes down, then you're still in a safe position. Where in stocks or Bitcoins, you have to buy it undervalued, which means the same thing. It's like everyone else gets it. There's no other way around it. Everyone gets this for X, you got to get it for X. There's nothing you can do, okay? You got to get it for X, and then you got to, please, there's a name on the internet called the huddle. Like, you got to hold it on and for dear life or something. I'm not sure what the acronym is 100%, but huddle is, I thought it was pretty funny. That's what they have. You got to huddle this, and it's like a roller coaster. You got to go, oh, you have no control, okay? One thing about non-speculation investment like real estate is I'm in total control. When I buy this house, if I'm going to rent it out, I'm in total control. I can scan the renters. I could only get the ones with the best credits, the ones that don't have evictions. I could decide what kind of AC guy I'm going to put in my house to fix my AC. Am I going to hire the most expensive, the middle one, the lowest one? I'm in total control when I'm going to sell, when I'm not going to sell. When I buy stocks, I don't have a control. I don't have a steering wheel. I'm just like huddling, like waiting for dear life. Am I going to go up? Am I going to go down? Same thing with Bitcoins, man. When I buy this, I'm just like, oh, please, which way? Please go up, right? I don't have no control. Okay, I've never invested in speculation investing, gambling investing, because I'm not a gambler. Okay, I'm a refugee to America. I had to work for every penny, and I'd never borrowed any money, so I didn't want to risk it. Okay, I didn't want to risk it to get the biscuit in that sense. But I'm willing to invest everything I got and put my life on something if I truly believe in it. But it's not speculation. It's non-speculation investing, guys. Okay, so to summarize it up, guys, let me put something else on here, okay? Besides that, real estate is non-speculation if you buy it right versus here. The other point I want to make you guys understand that with real estate, you can get into business with no money. In stocks or Bitcoins, you cannot get it in there with money, okay? You got to have money to get into stocks. You got to have money to get into Bitcoins. I mean, you just can't do sweat equity. You can't do it for free. Okay, what do I mean? Like, you know, this little transaction that I just explained to you guys, some of you guys are new, you don't know anything about real estate, and you're just Bitcoin fans, what have you, is that this transaction where it was, this is me as an investor, I market, and then I find a deal, and then I make money, what have you. Well, some of us are getting old like me, getting white hair, and they don't want to do all this work, right? Because it takes hustle. You got to advertise, you got to pick up the phone, talk to a seller, go out there, see the property, etc., right? So there's this little thing like opportunity called wholesaling where people that are buying whole guys, people that are fix and flippers will pay these wholesalers in any industry, okay? Pays these wholesalers to bring them inventory, okay? How much do they pay? Anywhere you could think about, like anywhere from $3,000 up to 20 grand and more. Depends if it's commercial, if it's residential, how much equity it is. You know, if it's a $50,000 deal versus 150,000 versus a $3 million deal. So the more money. And so in this sense, people with no money can do real estate and get into a non-speculation investing with no money, just their sweat equity. You can't do that with stocks. You can't do that with Bitcoins. You need that dinero. So this is why I love real estate because, you know, a refugee like me or anyone with no money or limited amount of money, if they're willing to put the time in to learn, if they're willing to put the sweat equity in, then they can do deals. They can go find motivated sellers that are going on a divorce, lost their jobs, what have you, negotiate a deal, put it under contract, and then sell it to an investor like me and make that wholesaling fee. That happens in car business. Big car dealerships, they have wholesalers that sell them inventory, and because the wholesalers don't deal with the retail people, they just buy the deals at auctions at different states, and you know they just ship it to different dealerships. Okay, the dealerships, the one that has the salespeople, has the all the managements, all the stuff. They deal with all the customers. So there is the guy that sells it to the retail business, and the retail business deals with all the retail customers. That middleman called a wholesaler is in all businesses. In supplements, there's wholesalers. There's people that buy the stuff from the manufacturer, they hold it. Some of them are even distributors and wholesalers. It means that not only do they just buy it, they also hold on to it, like, huddle it in a sense as being a factory. So I don't want to get into that, guys. Uh, the other thing I want to talk about that you can do with speculation investment is majority of them. Like, I guess you could get some dividends with stocks, but it's so little unless you have so much stocks. But if you look at real estate, okay, the same exact house, this is why I love it, okay, because there's two ways I can buy real estate. There's two ways that I teach my students to buy real estate is that you can buy it with all cash, which requires a big discount. So you got to get it at a big discount. Okay? Which is that situation I told you, it was 100, you give them 60 minus repairs, what have you. The other thing is that you can pay full price. And full price means that you can give them the fair market value. For example, I would love to buy a property full price, right? That sounds like, oh my God, how would you do that? But it has to be all my terms. Like, for example, if this property that we talked about is worth 100, and if if the mortgage payments on the property was, let's say, to make everything easy, $1,000 a month, which what we call PITI, principal, interest, tax, and insurance, $1,000 a month, and the market rent was, let's say, 1,400. Okay, I don't mind buying this house for 100,000. If I talk to the seller and this seller owns this house clear and clear, right? Or if this seller owns has a debt of 100,000, or if the seller owes 60%, has 40% equity, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever the scenario is, I'm willing to give him 100% because I can make $400 a month monthly cash flow off this. But the thing is, I can't give him all cash today, right? Because I'm giving him asking price. I'm a cash investor. I'm only buying houses at a deep discount. But to help the seller, sometimes I buy him at full price. Why would I want to buy it at full price? Well, very first thing is he's gonna owner finance me. He's going to carry the note, however you want to call it. Okay, he's going to do a wrap subject to creative financing, all same shit, right? He's going to do that for me. That means that two, I don't have to go to a bank. I don't have to put my social security up. I don't have to put my company EIN number up. None of that stuff. He's going to take care of all that for me. And why would he want to do that? Because A, he's motivated, and then B, I'm giving him his full price. Now, why would I want to do that? Because I just explained to you, dude, I don't have to get a loan. When somebody puts my social security in there, the loan does not attach to me, assuming that he has a loan. If he doesn't have a loan, it's even better. He's not a bank. He's not going to be reporting to the institution. I have a house without a debt. And what I mean a debt is non-recourse debt, which means that my company EIN number or my social security is not attached to that debt. So if I default, which I never try to default, if I default, the only thing they could come after is the property versus my credit, guys. Or if you go to a Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whatever, all these banks, they want you to sign, two things. A promissory note, which basically makes you responsible, like you makes you a co-signer in a sense, if you want to say that. Because if you default when you go to the traditional way, not only are they going to come after your credit, they're also going to come after your property. With a non-recourse, we agreed to that up front that they're only going to come after the property, not me, guys. So it's a very, very, very powerful strategy, but not that I'm trying to use it in a dark way, in a light way, because I'm willing to pay that seller 100% where normally I just give them 60. And if they want to go with 100, then have the list with the realtor and wait how many days it's required in their subdivisions to sell and go all through those hoops, make sure the buyer doesn't flake out, make sure the house passes inspection, make sure he has the money to put into all that stuff. I don't have a problem with it. Right? This is America. There's other people that want my money. Just like the pawn shop. I'm the pawn shop of real estate. Okay. So one of the cool things is why I'm willing to give the seller their full asking price, unlike the pawn shop, is because I'll make massive cash flow. I'll make $400 a month. If I make $400 a month and there's 12, you could just see it. That's more than $4,000 a year, guys, plus. Okay? That's not bad. All right? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Now, and then I'm not going to give him very low money down, very little, like maybe nothing. Just pay for his closing, maybe $1,000, maybe pay for his move, because I'm giving him his asking price. Okay, or we could negotiate something more, but I'm not going to give him no 10% or 3% or 2% because I could just buy his house for cash. And that's the power of real estate, where I can't do that with speculation investments like stocks or bitcoins. I can't, you know, you know what I'm saying? Now, this thing goes up in price. Some of you can say, well, Bitcoin goes up in price. Well, that's appreciation in a sense because this thing is going up in price too. I mean, it's not appreciation, but in one sense it is. It's kind of like this house goes up if I buy in the right area, right? Just not even if the market goes up, just because of the inflation that Uncle Sam and the Federal Reserve ideas they have, right? Which is printing money, just printing money and printing money and printing money. Okay, guys? So to summarize it up, dude, real estate investing is so powerful because you can get into the business without any money. is so powerful because you can buy properties that everyone else buys. 90%, 95% of people buy for 100. You can buy it for 60. It happens all the time. Now, again, 95% of people don't do this strategy, but it does happen. Does it take work? Yes. It's not as easy as showing up to your realtor and then driving around, and it doesn't work like that, guys. And it doesn't work like, well, if you want like a purple house, well, with pink walls and this kind of fence, then no, you're not going to find a home like that. That's for retail. This is for business, okay? It's an investment. You're just getting whatever you're getting in the area you want. That's good, but the painting on the walls you got to take care of. It's not going to be your home where you're living in. It's just business. You know what I mean? And so you can get a house for not using your own credit. You can get a house with not really with any money, with just letting the seller fund it to you. You can buy a house at a deep discount. You can buy a house at full price because you get monthly cash flow if the house justifies it. Now, if I'm not going to pay a seller 100 grand if the rent in the area is 900, that doesn't make sense. The rent is 900. His monthly mortgage is 1,000. Uh, I'm going to be losing $1,000, $100 a month. Again, I'm going to lose $100 a month. I wouldn't do that deal. But if the rent was 1,400, and if the guy was motivated and willing to do owner financing, and if this is an area that I like and it was safe, and I felt like it's going to appreciate it, and I felt like I was going to rent out good, then I might possibly think about doing this type of deal with the seller, even though that I prefer to buy it at 60%. Now, do you want to bring $60,000 cash, or do you just want to give this guy $1,000 for his move and then own this house and make $400 a month, and it's the D's under your name, just like if you went to a traditional bank, okay? With hardly no money. That's like no money, dude. If you get $100,000 home with like $1,000, that's like no money, dude. Because if you just went with a traditional bank, you would have to spend thousands of dollars down, escrow fees and title policy. Because with creative financing, sometimes I don't even buy title policies because they're cookie cutter homes. They're just brand new homes, and I'm buying it from the original owner. I'm buying it two owners down the chain. So it gives me again control. So the point of real estate, it gives me control. I could do it with no money. I could do it, buying at a deep discount. I could do it with paying full price. I could get into the business with just sweat equity, and then I get to control that if I'm not speculating with stocks, with Bitcoins. I'm lining up like every other herd, and I'm just praying in God that it goes up. Now, there's a lot of people that made millions of dollars with Bitcoin because it's a new technology and it's revolutionary. And I'm not knocking it. I just recently became a believer of it. If you would ask me 6 months ago, I would think it was a scam. I was still under the process of evaluating it. I've been studying for almost like a year and a half. But now I'm a believer of it. I'm a believer of blockchain technology. I feel like I didn't understand it earlier, so I just made my own mind inception. I discriminated. I didn't do my research. After a year and a half of research, I think that it's revolutionary. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know if it's going to go up. Just like stocks, I don't know if it's going to go up or down. I don't usually do speculation investing because, again, its risk is gambling. I don't like to gamble. When I buy a house worth 100 at 60, I'm not gambling. When I buy a house that's worth 100 at 100, some of you think I'm gambling if the market goes down. No, I'm not, because I'm getting $400 a month positive cash flow. If the market goes up or down, I don't give a fuck because I'm getting a monthly cash flow. The best thing that's going to happen is when the market goes down and foreclosure goes up higher, people lose their home and they have to now become renters, which means it's going to push up my rental price from 400 a month to 1600 a month to 1800 a month as 2 or 3 years goes by. So either way, I'm in good control because I buy at a deep discount, or I have total control of the terms or the owner financing terms that allows me to buy a house with no interest or whatever the seller's mortgage is. So I just, whatever their mortgage is, if they have 6% or they have 3%, depends what bank they went to, depends on the seller's previous credit, and whatever loan they have, I just assume it in a sense. I don't assume it. I do a subject to a wrap, but to help you guys understand, you kind of like you just jump into their shoes and make monthly payments. I mean, it doesn't get any better. Or you could do wholesaling where you don't even have to make the payments. You just find a property, find a motivated seller, you put it under contract, and then you find an in-cash buyer, and you get the difference. You get the difference, dude. Just kind of like if you buy something on Craigslist and you turn around and sell on eBay, and you get the difference. pretty simple stuff, guys. Simple, but it takes a lot of hard work. That's why people like to do stocks and Bitcoin because this takes work. This, I mean, I've been sitting here for the last week or two just buying stuff on Bitcoins, and it's really fucking simple. Really simple. I just sit here and let me buy some of this, let me buy some of this, let me buy some of this. It's the most simplest thing I ever did in my life, right? But for this, I got to advertise, I got to figure out funnels, I got to figure out follow-ups, I got to figure out sales, I got to figure out negotiation. But it's big time money, right? But it's not at the big time level as Bitcoin because it's a new technology and people are like 200 exit, right? Right now, but it's not going to be that like that forever, right? But real estate, I buy houses in the last recession. I give the seller 2 or 3 grand. 6, 7 years later, sold the same house, made $100,000. I could have made 220, but I was motivated. I wanted to just sell, so I put a lot of meat on the table. But I still walked out with 100K. That included my monthly cash flow out of the sucker. All right. I did many deals like that where I found motivated sellers. I targeted them. They called me. I talked to them. We met them. We met their family over 1 month. We decided we want to do the deal, and I saved their homes. I saved their credits. From firefighters to city workers, all types of people. Okay, met their families, and it was a great feeling because I was in total control. I was helping someone else, and I was making money. Right? With Bitcoins, I don't know who it is or who the characters are. In the stocks, I kind of know who the president is, but I don't really know what's going on, and I have no control. Now, I'm not dissing speculation investing, and I'm not saying this one's better. They're both risky, but I'm in the camp of this one because I'm a refugee to America. I don't want to lose my money, and I know I can make good money with this. Like when I start a business, it's really not speculation. I study it, and I know that I'm going to win with it. I have no other choice. So my mindset determines my outcome, okay? So it's not speculation for me. For many people, when they start a business, it's speculation because they listen to their mama, their girlfriend, their family, their cousin, the TV, the radio, and so it's speculation for them. So it all depends on your mindset, guys. Uh, to summarize it up, if you have any questions, leave a comment. I'd love to answer your questions. Um, don't forget to jab on the likes and share it. Share this video, and let me know what you think about it. Hustle and bustle. Don't take no for an answer. Thank you, guys.